We're counting down to the all-party delegation that will be visiting different countries to set the record straight on why, where and how Operation Sindoor was conducted. 59 members of parliament have been handpicked for this operation. They will be spreading the word on Pakistan being a terror state and why India had to hit terror bases. The message is clear from India that while there may be politics, there may be questions, there may be differences between the government and the opposition, when it comes to Pakistan, when it comes to bleeding India, we stand as one, in one voice, united as a country against terror, which is great to see that you've got the right message being sent across. So MPs from all political parties are being briefed in groups to expose Pakistan. It's a unique exercise that isn't really government policy, but reportedly the government's initiative to ensure every country gets the message on India's stand against terror. So we've seen one group being briefed by Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri as they set to head out in 2 days from now to different countries. And so essentially the confirmation has come in from the MPs who were a part of their delegation that some issues were brought up and all of those issues were essentially addressed by the Foreign Secretary on what is really the government stand, what's the country stand on different aspects of Operation Sindoor. Now also what's been confirmed by several of the MPs there who've been a part of that briefing is that they are going to be visiting countries that are members of the UNSC, and then 5 other countries that will become members of the UNSC in the days to come. I'll be explaining that to you as to why each of these countries have been chosen. But this is going to be a long exercise that will continue for the next few months. Many groups have been identified essentially to send out a message of zero tolerance to terror.
I was able to introduce the committee to my colleague Sri Ravi Shankar Prasad, who will be leading the delegation that is going to Paris in 2 days' time. So that was also a good opportunity for him to say hello to them and for them to meet him in advance. However, this committee is still traveling and may not be back in France when Raviji gets there, but he will meet their colleagues and others in Paris. French delegation not just expressed solidarity, they used the word soutien, which in English means support. They expressed support for India at this difficult time.
It was developments as they happened. Pakistan DGMO called our DGMO and said, we want to call this off, we want to cease. And our DGMO said, that's what you are doing, we will reciprocate. You escalated, we reciprocated. You want to call it off, we reciprocate. But please do it seriously. That's all, and it was done.
जो देश में राजनीति है, जो देश में हमारा अधिकार है, दायित्व है, वो अलग है. देश के बारे में बाहर जाकर जो बोलना है वो अलग है.
The main topic or the main message of this delegation to the entire world is fight against terrorism, zero tolerance against terrorism. Terrorism which is proliferating in the soils of Pakistan and spreading to India. Every time some of the other attack which is happening on India, and now it is not limited only to India, but it is spreading to the entire world. The US also has suffered the same terrorism activities. UK also suffered, UAE has also suffered, some parts of Africa has also suffered.
वार एक तरह से 40 साल से देश झेल रहा है. हम लोगों ने हर एक समय एविडेंस दिया, चीजें दी, लेकिन जैसे चोर को कहा जाता है कि आप ही आकर के जांच कीजिए, उस तरह का उसका हरकत रहा है, वो खुद ही कराता है. अब एक न्यू नॉर्मल जो आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने कहा है कि अब इस तरह का घटना होगा तो हम लोग भी जाके हिट कर सकते हैं, जो प्रूव करके दिखाया. तो और लार्जली ये चीज देना कि भाई टेररिज्म का जो रूट है, सिर्फ इंडिया ही नहीं, दुनिया में कहीं टेररिस्ट एक्टिविटी होता है, उसका कहीं न कहीं लिंक पाकिस्तान में निकल जाता है. तो इस चीज से भी सेंसिटाइज करना,
एक्सपोज करना पूरा पाकिस्तान,
पूरा जो, और ये कहना कि कोई ये टेररिस्ट ग्रुप कोई आइसोलेशन में नहीं आ रहा है. इनका पूरा पैटर्न जो है, पूरा फंडिंग, ट्रेनिंग, सारा का सारा पाकिस्तान आर्मी और वहाँ की सरकार करवाती है.
Okay, let's bring in our reporters on this broadcast. We've got our Foreign Affairs editor, Geeta Mohan. We've got Piyush Mishra, who tracks all the updates coming in from the government. Maushami Singh, who's getting asked what many of these members of parliament have to say. Maushami, I'll begin with you. You've been tracking the latest that came in on the briefing by Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri. What really have MPs told you about that briefing? What were the issues that were brought up? What was the government's response?
Clearly, Akshata, there were no dissenting voices. This meeting, an all-party meeting happening in the parliament, it's unusual that you would have no dissenting voices. And the topic was such. We were told by members that everybody listened carefully, they had their questions. The talking points will be given by the government as they turn emissaries going out into the world, to in fact, build the image of brand India, talk about how India is standing against terrorism, how the new normal is that no more tolerance to terrorism, and we have the right to respond. So I heard all those things when I was speaking to all these MPs. Importantly, they will be given regular briefings by Indian diplomats according to the country they go to, and they will be given talking points. They will be meeting ministers and ambassadors and of course parliamentarians and community leaders and think tanks. And in fact, it's very interesting, even the former External Affairs Minister Salman Khurshid, he pointed out that domestic politics notwithstanding, when we go out, it's not about Indian planes being downed or what Donald Trump had to say. We all speak in one voice. We stand with the government saying it's a bilateral issue, and if you want to talk about the Indian planes being downed, it's the army that has to speak on that. It's not our domain. So very important highlight there.
And it's great to see. You did mention that it's unusual in an all-party delegation for there to be consensus. It's great to see that on an issue of national security, on a stand against terror, we're united and we speak in one voice. This is the kind of, messaging that we need to send across to the global community as well. I'll bring in Piyush Mishra also to understand where essentially this thought came from, Piyush. Why has the government chosen to take this step? Like I said earlier, this isn't a policy of sorts. This is a step taken by the government to also ensure perhaps more inclusivity in taking on Pakistan.
Well, Akshata, what we're learning from our sources within the government that this entire thought came in from the earlier governments of the country, be it about NDA government or UPA government. You would remember that during the Atal Bihari Vajpayee's tenure, when India had gone into fight with Pakistan, a war with Pakistan. After that, also you would remember that multiple delegations had visited various parts of the world, and once again we are now seeing similar sort of exercise being done. One thing is clear, that government wants to tell the global community that yes, it's the Pakistan which is sponsoring terror. It's the Pakistan which has been carrying out terror attacks against India since 1947, and India only this time after Operation Sindoor has only reacted back to the escalation which was done by Pakistan. So what we are told from our sources is that all evidence, all the kind of involvement of Pakistan in terror attacks in India, all these things will be shared with the global community. What we are also told is that the delegation members will be meeting with various ministers, various MPs of these countries, and they will be apprised about the entire Operation Sindoor and what was the need of carrying out this operation.
Okay, Piyush, thanks for those details. I'll bring in a Foreign Affairs editor also, Geeta Mohan, on this. Geeta, interestingly, while India's taken this very unique initiative of sending members of parliament across the world to specific countries to send out the message on what Pakistan has been doing by harboring terrorists, Pakistan seems to have initiated a similar movement now.
Well, absolutely. Copycat syndrome. But nonetheless, it's also counter. Now, what is going to happen, and a big challenge for India will be, there are 7 delegations that will be going to various world capitals. What are the kind of and level of meetings that they will be able to secure? And if Pakistan is able to secure the same level of meetings in those respective nations, particularly Washington DC will be of great importance, Akshita. We'll be monitoring and seeing who Shashi Tharoor-led delegation is really going to meet. And should Bilawal Bhutto Zardari manage similar levels of meeting, then it certainly will raise a lot of questions on where America stands and the position America has taken. Similarly, in various other countries, challenges are huge, but India goes with a very firm and a very strong position. That is, that India is fighting terrorism. Countries that are going to give the same level or accord the same level of honor, respect and meetings to Pakistan should know that they are the ones who have to answer and should be held accountable for a lot when it comes to state sponsor of terrorism, when it comes to not holding terrorists accountable or those perpetrators accountable on their soil, and that they allowed so many terror hubs to thrive for so many decades.
Okay, Geeta, thanks very much for those details. I'd like to thank Piyush and Moushami also for joining us on this broadcast. But important to highlight here, which are the countries that these MPs will be going to? Like I told you, 50 plus members of parliament. And it's not like each MP has been assigned one country. These are groups that have been established. I'll run you through each of these groups. Group 1 essentially has, in fact, Baijan Panda, BJP leader, and several others who are part of different parties like Asaduddin Owaisi of the AIMIM, Ghulam Nabi Azad. All of them will be part of one particular delegation. They will be visiting Saudi Arabia, they'll be visiting Kuwait, Bahrain and Algeria. So that's one group. The other group, Group 2, and this is of course the first group. We've listed out the names for you, but each of these groups has one leader, a senior member of parliament, and then you have others also. For example, in Group 2, you've got Ravi Shankar Prasad essentially leading it, and then you have several other members from the TDP, from the Sena UBT, Priyanka Chaturvedi there in Group 2, MJ Akbar, they'll be visiting UK, France, Germany, EU, Italy and Denmark. Let's slow that down for you. Let's go back to Group 3, in which you have, in fact, all right. Let's take you through Group 3 there. That's Sanjay Kumar Jha of the JDU who's leading it, and then a whole lot of names from the TMC. Importantly, it's Abhishek Banerjee who will also be here. In all likelihood, he's part of this particular group. This group will focus on Indonesia, Malaysia, Korea, Japan and Singapore. So you see one particular region that's been identified for each group. Group 4 has Shrikant Shinde as the leader, the son of Eknath Shinde. This has the likes of Bhasri Swaraj. You have also SS Ahluwalia, ambassadors also who are a part of these delegations. They'll be focusing on Africa as well as the UAE, United Arab Emirates. Group 5, this is perhaps one of the most crucial of the lot. Shashi Tharoor is going to be leading it. There was, of course, controversy over this because his name wasn't formally proposed by the Congress, and yet the government chose Shashi Tharoor. There's a reason for that because of how important this particular delegation is. It's got Ambassador Taranjit Singh Sandhu, it's got Milind Diora, it's got Tejaswi Surya. This delegation will be visiting America. Besides, of course, as you can see, Panama, Brazil, Colombia, and several other countries as well. But America is one to watch out for. Group 6 has Kanimuri of the DMK as the leader and several other members of parliament as well as ambassadors. They'll be visiting largely parts of Europe as well as Russia too. It was this group along with several others who got that briefing today because Kanimuri and this delegation will be leaving in 2 days from now. Group 7 has Supriya Sule of the NCP as the leader, Manish Tiwari, Anurag Thakur, all of them are part of this particular grouping. Egypt, Qatar, Ethiopia, South Africa is what they'll be covering. So you've got all of these countries being covered by these delegations. 7 groups in all, 59 members of parliament. You will notice that in each of these groups also there are ambassadors who are there to ensure that all the necessary diplomatic outreaches, details are taken care of as well. But what does this achieve? What's the purpose of this kind of a diplomatic outreach? Well, it's multifold. First, to brief nations about the Pahalgam terror attack, which happened on April 22nd. You'll see a timeline being provided. First, to mention the Pahalgam terror attack, and then talk about why there was a need for India to respond. So they look to answer all of these questions of why, when, where, and how as well. So essentially, India's military response through Operation Sindoor. There'll be details of how Operation Sindoor was carried out, of how we ensured that we only targeted terror camps in Pakistan and POK, nothing beyond that. And then talk about how Pakistan tried to target our civilian settlements, our military establishments, to which we retaliated. And there's also a very important message of unity that's being sent across to this country, that India speaks in one voice on this issue. We're also showing, of course, national consensus on combating terror and also to ensure that Pakistan pays the price. Importantly, we're refuting Pakistan's narrative regarding India's actions. It's been rather dismissive, their narrative, which is completely thwarted essentially with this kind of an exercise. Our commitment to countering cross-border terror, extremely crucial, because we're also seeking stronger action against Pakistan for going ahead and harboring these terrorists. Now, an important step that we're pushing for is in the Financial Action Task Force, the FATF. What we hope for will be a big takeaway from these delegations being sent across is that Pakistan is grey listed by the FATF, which was done previously, and then that grey list was lifted. We're looking at ensuring that's happening again. But is this the first time we're seeing these kind of all-party delegations being sent out? Not really. There have been different versions of this, not exactly what we're seeing right now, but different versions. What do I mean by that? In 1994, you had Pakistan moving a resolution against India over Kashmir in Geneva at the UN Human Rights Commission. So at that point, a delegation was sent by P.V. Narasimha Rao. It included Atal Bihari Vajpayee, it included Farooq Abdullah. They were sent across to Geneva to present India's case at the UNHRC, which was at that time unprecedented. And then what happened after that? This delegation successfully ensured that this resolution was shot down. There was a massive international support that we got also. So Pakistan's attempt in 1994 failed before the UNHRC as a result of, again, India standing and speaking in one voice. Then in 2008, you had a global diplomatic outreach post the 26/11 Mumbai attacks. What did this look like? It was essentially multi-party delegations that were sent to various world capitals. So again, different from what we've seen right now, but multi-party delegations were sent across. Now, Pakistan was grey listed by the FATF. There was also a lot more international pressure because you had globally condemnation pouring in from many of these countries that these multi-party delegations visited. So yes, it's worked before. Yes, it's helped in putting pressure on Pakistan. And that's the attempt right here by going ahead and taking this kind of a step of ensuring that we spread the word as much as we can, and we don't just limit it to the government but to every single representative of political parties as well. So how have these countries been handpicked for this particular exercise? Why are some countries part of the list and others not? Well, if you look at the list that I read out earlier of the 7 groups, current UNSC members have been covered. So that's the list of countries that I've mentioned here, of course excluding Pakistan. So we're trying to create a consensus among the UNSC members, but also we're thinking ahead. Members who are going to be joining the UNSC, incoming UNSC members too, we're sending delegations across. So that's Denmark, Greece, Panama, Somalia, Latvia, and the list goes on. These are incoming UNSC members. What we're showing is current. This is the incoming UNSC members. We've covered all of them too. And then, of course, there are the permanent UNSC members, the ones who have all the say. America, UK, France, Russia, all of them are part of this list. China also is a permanent member, but we're not going to China because we know exactly where China stands. They've been openly supporting Pakistan. So at this point, we are not making any effort to reach out to China. All the other permanent UNSC members, we're sending delegations across too. And then it's not just UNSC, but getting solidarity and a consensus from key Muslim nations as well. So you have Saudi Arabia in that, UAE, Qatar, Egypt, Kuwait, Indonesia, Malaysia. We've reached out to all of these countries. So you look at what we're doing. UNSC, Muslim nations, we're getting all of them essentially to kind of send across a message that we will not agree to, in fact, any country that harbors terrorists and isolate Pakistan as well. So besides that, G7, EU, we've covered all of them, the G20, BRICS, strategic partners. That's how we've drawn up this entire list.